gunmen walked onto a runway of one of West Africa's most important military airports. That attack exposed a problem nobody expected. And the solution isn't in Niger, isn't in Mali, isn't in Burkina Faso, it's in Togo, a peaceful coastal country that isn't even fighting the war. You see, by the end of this video, you'll see why a quiet military deal in Togo could reshape the entire conflict across the Sahel. Most people couldn't find Togo on a map. No military takeovers there, no militants holding ground, nothing that makes headlines on its own. For 2 years, quietly, Russia has been building something there that might matter more than anything happening right now in Niger. So why would the war fought in the desert need help from a peaceful country on the coast? And why would Russia, already fighting with Ukraine, already sanctioned by almost half of the planet, spend 2 years courting a country that isn't at war at all? You are going to look at the map of West Africa completely differently by the time we finish this video. On paper, it's simple enough. By March 2025, Russia and Togo signed a military deal. Lomé first, then Moscow a week later. By October, Russia's own parliament ratifies it. Putin signs it into law days later. When you look at the actual language, military exercises, training soldiers, intelligence sharing, counter-piracy work, it sounds nothing. It took 9 months of government process to approve this nothing. A commission reviewed it, parliament voted, the president signed a law. You see, nobody built that kind of heavy machinery around a trading exchange. So what were they really approving? You see, this story didn't start in 2025. Back in 2022, 3 years earlier, Russia was already flying attack helicopters into Togo. One crashed during an operation in 2024. Russian advisors had already helped Togo build a camp on its northern border right against Burkina Faso. By the time anyone signed a single paper, the helicopters were already in the sky. The camp already stood. The relationship had been running quietly for years, which flips the question. It's not why they signed a deal. It's what was worth waiting 9 months in parliament for. Now, buried inside that agreement is access to Togo's military ports, not training, ports. Lomé isn't some sleepy harbor. It's one of the only deep water ports on this whole coast. Le Monde magazine called it a real gain for Russia's navy in the Gulf of Guinea. Why does a desert war need a seaport? It's simply because one port means one way in. If that route gets blocked, politically, diplomatically, for any reason at all, the whole supply chains stops with it. So a second port means a second door that stays open. Now think of it like having 2 keys to your house. You hope you never need a spare, except this one already turned on. On July 9th, 2026, a Russian cargo ship called the Mikhail Britnev sailed straight past Conakry in Guinea, the port that had handled every Russian shipment into Mali. For the past year and a half, it docked in Lomé instead. For 18 months, there was one door into this war. Now there are 2. A second door only matters if a first one might get shut. And something already happened that shows exactly why Russia wanted a backup. Now remember the airport from the start of this video. That airport has a name, Niamey International, right next to Airbase 101. The actual nerve center of the whole alliance running this war. Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, the bloc that walked away from ECOWAS back in 2023. During that attack, 11 officers were unalived, 2 civilians, 22 attackers taken down, all in a matter of hours. That happened in January. Then in June 2026, fighters from the Islamic State Sahel branch hit it. Drones, mortars, militants walking the tarmac, while planes burned behind them. The crisis group calls it the first attack like this on Niamey since the early 2010s. And this isn't a one-off tactic anymore. In Burkina Faso and Mali, fighters have learned to adapt to a new technique of attacking several different towns all at the same time. This is done on purpose, specifically to keep the air force too scattered to respond to any single one of them. In Mali, a few days ago, fighters ambushed a convoy sent to reinforce a besieged army camp. and helped shoot down the helicopter sent in to relieve it. When every single base is fighting for its own survival, none of them have enough forces to send elsewhere to help back them up. Imagine planning military strategy for this alliance right now. Your own headquarters just got hit twice in 6 months, and every other base is too busy defending itself to help. Where do you put your plans, your training programs, the people fixing your engines? Leave them where they are. You are one ordinary morning away from losing all of it. And that's the real reason Togo matters, not its army, its calm. It's the one place on this board where a helicopter or a stockpile of spare parts can sit without worrying about mortars by morning. So Togo becomes the safety net the AES needs without losing vital equipment. And it also serves as a deterrent because it gives the Tiru a very hard problem to solve. And Togo isn't starting from zero on this. It already runs an actual fighting base at Nyamtogo up in the north, close to the Burkina Faso border, separate from the transport base down in Lumi. Now, put a rare base on the coast and a real air base already sitting up north, and you have got something that looks less like a training partnership and more like an outline of a rapid response system. You see, there is a proverb for this, better than anything I could write myself. When the drums of war start beating in the village, the wise man moves his grain store somewhere the fire can't reach. That's happening right now on this coast, except the grain store is a military base, and the fire is the war creeping closer every single year. You see, there's one thing you should pay attention to. Togo only matters because it's calm. But northern Togo already has militant activity creeping towards its own border. And that's the reason Russia built that first camp in the first place. The safety net built to solve one problem might one day walk straight into it. See, there is one question I want to ask you. If you are Togo's military today, would you take Russia's help and risk becoming a bigger target? Or stay out and risk getting caught flat-footed the day the fire actually reaches your border? You see, there is a saying that fits here too. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Some would argue getting ready for war matters much as getting ready for peace, maybe more. You see, there is no real answer to that, which is why it deserves real thought instead of quick reaction. And one more thing before we close. The same road carrying fuel and parts north is one AES states are already eyeing to move their own exports south through Lome. That means running trade and security down the same road. And that is something far more bigger than just a military deal. The slow walk of African countries writing their own trade rules together. When a security shortcut quietly turns into a trade shortcut, that work gets a lot harder to finish. And even experts split on this one. Can I just pray y'all sing? Thinks Russia's influence here is already close to its ceiling. Hudson Zineb Ribwa calls it something far more durable than anything Russia had before. Now, these are two serious analysts having two completely views on this. So let's zoom out one more level. Every government near Togo, we're talking about Ghana, Benin, Nigeria, is watching a security system take shape next door that it didn't build or doesn't run. ECOWAS, the bloc that used to handle exactly this, it's the same bloc he has already walked away from. You see, that's a different question from whether the people on the ground, West Africans, welcome this. Many West Africans do. They welcome the idea that there are efforts to improve on the security apparatus in the region. So this is about who holds the levers, not who approves of the outcome. This stopped being Russia versus the West a while back. What's actually been decided right now is who controls the ports this whole region's economy depends on, and who these countries call first the moment the fighting gets close. Now, back to where we started. Gunmen on the runway smoke over the one base that was supposed to be the safest place in the whole alliance. Now you know why the real answer isn't happening in Niger. It's happening on a beach, in a country most people never thought twice about. Because that's where you build the thing you can't afford to lose, right when the front line keeps creeping towards your own door. So the safest spot on the map just became one of the most important ones. Not because it grew an army, because it put the plane, the parts, the training somewhere these fighters can't touch without opening an entire new front, far from anywhere they actually operate. You see, there is something I keep coming back to, and plenty of Pan-Africans watching this agree. They see 3 Sahel states finally getting real security help on their own terms, instead of another round of lectures from partners who left when things got bad. So security and trade routes across this region are being redrawn right now by people who aren't waiting for anyone's permission. The map is moving while you are watching this video. If you care where African trade and ports are heading over the next 5 years, this is exactly the moment to pay attention. So here is my question for you. Did AES make the right call, backing a partner who shows up fast with no conditions attached? Or does that speed cost more later than anyone is willing to talk about? Drop your comments below. I'll read every single comment. I'll see you in my next video.